day, good evening, or good morning, everybody. Hello to the Total Life Changes family. My name is Nina Rochelle Mora. I'm your global director here out of the Philadelphia area, and I am so excited to be here with each and every one of you. You know what? Happy holidays to all of you. And before we even get started, we just want to wish you all a safe, an effective holiday season. Enjoy your family and use lots and lots and lots of your TLC products, because guess what? Even with all of the things that are going around, the bugs that are going around, we want you guys to be happy and healthy and holistic as we're going into 2016. So we're just so excited that each and every one of you are here. From whatever country you're in, we've got all of our Total Life Changes family here, and I am excited. I am so excited to be here, and I'm excited because I get to announce somebody that's very, very, very dear and near to my heart. You know what? I get to announce the person that made it all possible. And I had to call this young man. We're going to call him a young man tonight. I had to call this young man earlier tonight because as I was driving to go Christmas shopping, I thought about the fact that it was because of his yes that all of us are here today. So all of us, I have this big, huge family all around the world, not just here in Philadelphia, not just in the United States, but all around the world, in Peru and Africa, in the Bahamas, in Trinidad, just all over the world, because of this one person's yes. And I'm bringing on the phone, on the line tonight, on the hangout tonight, someone that works tirelessly, someone who's like an uncle, dad, to all of us, a brother, a friend, somebody that just never stops ticking. It's almost like that Energizer bunny just never stops. It just keeps on ticking and going and going and going. And you know what? Someone who has care and concern for each and every one of you, whether you know it or not. This young man has care and concern for each and every one of you. I have the esteem, honor, and the privilege and the pleasure of bringing on our Vice President of North American Sales, the one and only Mr. Kenny E. Lloyd. Are you there, Kenny?
Hey, can you hear me, Nina?
I sure can. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. It's Kenny Lloyd, VP of North American Sales here in Houston, Texas. And look, it gives me great pleasure to do this evening. First of all, Nina, I want to thank you for bringing your enthusiasm, your spirit, man. And, I have to correct you on one thing. It's not because of my yes, but it's because of you saying yes. Because my yes alone is insignificant to the yeses of people like you, people like Andrea, people like, all over the country and all over the world that have helped take this vision to another level. So I want to say thank you to you. Also, I got to reach out because to my South American family from South America and say, hey, it's not just me. I got to reach out and say, hey, to Bolo. Bolo, if you're out there, because I got to let you all know that this guy works tirelessly too. And the good thing about Bolo, he's in the background. You don't hear him talk a lot. You don't hear him make a lot of noise until you go to one of their events. But I got to reach out to Bolo because Bolo is really the spirit of South America, along with, Armand. So I got to reach out to those guys too, because it's not just me. Look here, guys. Tonight is it's emotional because right around this time, 2 years ago, we made a decision to launch our business in TLC. And since then, what has happened has just been amazing. It's been, I like to say it's been like 2 years, operating in the spirit of miracles, because so many miracles have happened in my life, Erwin and Twyla Portis' life, Greg and Scott's lives, so many people's lives have been impacted, not just by TLC, but just the whole spirit of everybody coming together. So it's very important because we're really going to another level. However, tonight is a night that we give you information. We share our actual state, where we are as a company right now. And, we have our CEO on the holding tape getting ready to share some good news with you all about where we are, because we know that people have questions. Where are we as a company right now? Are we solvent? Are we growing? Are we operating internationally? So, we have our CEO that's going to answer those questions, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to share our vision for 2016. And I'm going to tell you all, give you a hint, 2016 is going to be a year of miracles. There are a lot more miracles that are going to take place in so many people's lives that some of you all are in the business, and some people are unaware of what's about to happen to them. So, first off, it gives me great pleasure to bring to the line again the gentleman who I sat down with 2 years ago. And really, his spirit in his demeanor, and then, being the man of his word. I mean, everything that this gentleman said he was going to do since I've been in this company, he's done. And so you got to give credit where credit is due, but it gives me great pleasure to bring our CEO and my friend, my business partner, Mr. Jack Fallon, to the line. So, Jack, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Jack.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Andrea, Nina, for being on this call as well. We're getting some feedback, so yeah, if we mute out. But yes, Kenny, this is a very special time. I want to thank you for always making sure that we do these calls, because everyone gets busy, including myself, and you sort of forget the updates. So these are very important. I'm sorry there's been a gap in between the times that we've been together. We'll definitely make that up in 2016 for you. But the reason why this is so special is because we went out and set a goal, and I think it was last year, or we talked about it maybe months before last year started, of 2015, and that was 100 million. And I'm proud to announce that we've hit that mark. That is very, very exciting, and it really doesn't hit you until you start thinking about it. And when we went out, we visited again with Success Partners at the end of this year, and we told them where we were, and we told them what our plans were for 2016 and beyond. They basically said, stop right there. You don't really understand the mark that you've hit in this industry. It doesn't happen very often. You are part of something very special, and that's including myself, and that's everyone that's ever walked through the doors of TLC. We've accomplished something that very few companies ever have. So I'm telling them, well, we're going to do this in 2016. They're like, Jack, listen, you just bask in the glory for a minute here. What you've done is amazing. So just take a few days and let your leadership know. Let the field know that this is a very, very special time, that this mark doesn't come around often at all. So my presence on this call is to congratulate everyone, and at the same time say thank you. Thank you for all the hard work, the commitment, the long hours. I mean, the list goes on and on, but at the end of the list, the word sacrifice always comes to mind. And it sure, some people say, well, it started with you in your basement and you sacrificed, and then we moved, then we just kept collecting people that were willing to sacrifice for the greater cause, which is TLC, the company. No one's bigger than the company, and I've always preached that. Then Armand came along, then Kenny came along, then Nina, then Andrea. Then it just one after another. It just came along and said, I'm willing to sacrifice to meet my family's goals, but also the company, TLC. So I from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everyone for being part of this commitment and being part of it. I mean, it's just, it's truly amazing. So to roll into that, we basically, now we're picked to be in the Global 100 through the direct selling news. We're going to be featured in a lot of magazines in 2016, and starting with the April issue, which obviously everyone's going to have a copy of that. And I want you to all have a copy of that, because I want you to be proud. It's an accomplishment that we were all part of. I mean, from the person that helps put the bottle of product on the assembly line to the person that helps program. It's a fight. There's no doubt about it, Kenny. And so again, I'm honored to be your servant and keep serving you guys. And some amazing things have just happened in 2015, but 2016 are just going to be double. So with that being said, the other things that we've looked in 2015 is that when you look at a company such as ours, growing at a staggering rate, going through the trials and tribulations, my business philosophy was always find someone that's smarter than you. So what we've done is literally reached out to support each department, from accounting to shipping to programming, to marketing, the Success Partners, joining up with them. And it's working really well, because at corporate, we have no egos. All we're trying to do is continuously lay out that path for simplicity. It doesn't matter what language you speak, what gender you are, what part of the world you are in. We want you to be part of our family, and we just keep laying out that foundation for you. So again, I really take my hats off to the corporate team. They've really strived. There was a lot of tears when we got that notification about the April magazine, and again, it goes back to sacrifice. Another thing that's happened in the last few weeks is our doors have really been open now as far as corporate in Ira, Michigan. And what I mean by that is that we're very proud of our new location. So we've had a lot of leadership show up. We had a great team yesterday. People keep coming in daily. They want to be a part of that, and that's what we're really going to concentrate in 2016. We want people as close to us as possible. So we're creating that community. We're creating that culture that everyone's always welcome at the Ira location in Michigan. I know that goes true in Fontana. I know it goes true in Houston and all of our locations around the country. The doors are always open. I just felt that we're just going to really concentrate again on getting people to Ira. So and it's been a big success because obviously we do the shipping and the customer service. So there's a lot of activity going on there. Kenny wants to know the state of TLC. The state of TLC is it's amazing. And when I think about it, I do get choked up because of what we went through to get here and what we make sure of. And what I mean by that is that our business philosophy is always, let's keep it simple, let's never overextend ourselves, and let's do things systematically and right. Let's just, and I'll be honest, we've not always done that, but now we're in the last, I would say 36 months, we have, and the growth is showing because of what we're doing. There's new distributor kits coming out in 2016, and it goes back to the reasons why, 2015. We average between about 4,500 people to 8,000 brand new people a week. So what we're putting in place is tools to get in these people's hands, to have success. I think the leadership has done obviously an amazing job getting people to see our opportunity, to see the value of being part of TLC. We're always after, obviously, we always want to change their mind, body, and spirit, and our leadership's done a good job. So corporate, we're looking at it, what is our role to help increase the value, obviously, and help people get trained and get notified and be a part of something that is obviously taking over the world. So we're investing in those distributor kits. We're heavily investing in 2016 I've shared this with a few leadership. We're going back to the basics, guerrilla warfare. And what I mean by that is that we are going to have as many meetings and as many face-to-face, as many home parties as we can in the world. And so what does that mean to you? Well, I think a lot of companies, including ourselves, we have big events. We have an amazing event coming at the end of January. It's going to be just epic. It's going to really, we're going to do some things that have never been done in network marketing. But when you're at a big event, myself, I'm a very personal person. There's not a lot of time to get into the intimacy of shaking hands and taking pictures. So we set this goal out, and this is the way we do it. We said, listen, we have to get back to our field. We have to get back to our roots, and we're going to have as many locations as physically possible. Our leadership's behind this. Our corporate team's behind this, and that includes fly-ins to the corporate office. That includes regional events. That includes hotels. That includes one-on-ones. That includes home parties. We're literally going to set the world on fire by being in front of as many faces and shaking as many hands as we can. And that's powerful. That is very, very powerful. The leadership is behind this. It's going to be backed by success partners, again, with a new home party kit. It's going to be backed by, obviously, documentation and being in these magazines. and it's going to get backed by a distributor kit in English and Spanish to start off with. So I think another question, Kenny, was about our expansion. We're working on expansion. Obviously, you know as well as I do, every country takes time. There's different things that you have to do, and we do not want to waste time, and we want to make sure we're legal in every country. So we continuously do that. We'll probably, I think we'll be, probably in the first quarter of next year, we'll be legal in probably about 3 other countries. So that's going to help tremendously. But there's so much business here in the United States that we've came together, and we're just gonna make something very, very special happen here. We were ranked number 3 as far as momentum again, and that's a worldwide ranking. They look at everything. They look at your traffic. They look at your sales, the way they're growing. You take those rankings, the type of momentum we have, the type of leadership we have, we're unstoppable. And I'm just here to let you know that we're here to back what we're saying as far as the numbers. We're here to back our distributors, and we're here to just keep reinvesting in what we know that's going to happen. And never to worry. And what I mean by that is, Kenny said, well, how's the company doing? Never to worry about the company. And the reason why is we have such a corporate staff that cares so much, and I think they've taken my philosophy. Again, we will always hire someone smarter. I might not ever be the CEO again. I might hire a guy that came out of Harvard, but he'll do the right things because I have no ego. No ego here. All of my blood, sweat, and tears goes right into the field. It goes right into TLC. So we'll always continue to hire better than what we are and what we're going to be at corporate. And with that being said, I think that should put your mind at ease, is that whoever's going to be running this ship in different departments will be the best of the best. We'll continue to invest and to be the best in corporate. So the way I feel when I get asked that question is never to worry. We didn't come this far, Kenny. We didn't start in the basement in 1999 and come to this far and reach these types of numbers based on anything but just wanting it. We wanted it so bad. We'll never risk the company over ego, over rumors, over following another company the way they've done things, or nothing will get in the way of that. So I want to put that to rest. We'll always hire up. We'll always dream up. So again, I hope I answered all your questions. I'm feeling emotional tonight just because I started reading the numbers again and the emails we're getting around the world. So I hope I covered everything. And Kenny, I don't know if I left anything out.
No, Jack. I'd like to ask a question though. Let's talk about the home office a little more. How many square feet do you have there, man? At the new home office?
23,000.
23,000. So I saw some photographs of I see that our global James Dentley was up there visiting, and I saw that you have a conference room up there too, man. How many seats is that? How many people does that conference room accommodate?
Well, we have two. We have 2 conference rooms. If I had to guess, about 20 to 30 chairs, and then obviously you can stand on the side for sure.
Yeah, that's a good thing, Jack. I talked to James this morning, and he was very impressed with the treatment and the entire facility, and just how you all rolled everything out for he and his team. Because that's huge, man. And that facility, it looks beautiful. I can't wait until we do the grand opening, which we will be doing the grand opening there. But Jack, I think you covered it all. Anything else you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah, we've done a very good job, I believe, with corporate team. From everyone that's contributed their time there, and that's really going to be the focus, Kenny, is James Dentley's team. Yes, they were open and they were welcomed with open arms. But we're literally going to concentrate on that, where we're getting face to face. We're going to make sure that our people are trained. If you signed up with TLC, you're going to have the best shot in the world to earn extra income. We're taking that seriously, and we're going to heavily invest in it.
Okay, thanks, Jack. I appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you very much. Hey, everybody, that's our CEO, Jack Fallon. And, and I hope that you all really captured what he was saying. He was just basically giving you the state of where we are. And I can sum it up. We're good. We're safe. We're solvent. We're not going out of business. When you're talking about a company that's been in business for 15 years, not 2 years, okay? I know a lot of you all in North America, you all think the company's only 2 years old, but it's actually 15 years old. So we're not going anywhere. So, Jack, thanks a lot. Look, guys, I just really, this time of the year is so special to me. Finally back home, and I'm able to take really take a few days and really spend with my family and really just enjoy spending time with Shantae, my children, my mother's coming in, my family. So, I'm so excited about this, and it's really special, and I'm really grateful for this time because this year, I just have a sense of peace that I haven't had in the last 5 or 6 years. And it's the kind of peace that you have when you don't worry about, last minute, can I afford to get a gift for my son? Can I get my wife? What am I going to get her? Can I afford? Are we even going to have Christmas? And I can talk about that, and I hope nobody misunderstands that because there was a time when I had those concerns, when I had to close that last deal, or I might have had that last distributor that was promising he was going to come into business, and I needed that money in order to give my family Christmas. And it was not a good feeling, but I fought through it, and so, and I think that's what you have to do. You kind of have to fight through it. I know some of you all who are just now getting started with TLC, you're going through some tough times right now, and I can relate to that because we launched, right around Christmas 2 years ago, and my wife and I were going through some extremely tough times. It took all we had to give our family a really nice Christmas, but one thing we knew, that as long as we had our sanity and we had our health, that the Christmas after that one would never be like the one we had before. We knew that when we made the decision to join TLC, that the Christmas that we were having, which we were still blessed, but we would never go through that again. That Christmas would be the least of our worries. And you know what? It holds true to form. So what I've done is I've invited a couple of people who are very near and dear to me, that I get a chance. I've traveled with them. One of them lives here in Houston with me. And we really talk a lot. And when we talk, it's real talk. We talk about where, how does it feel to ascend from where you were when you first joined to where you are now. So the first person I'd like to bring is somebody who's here in Houston, Texas with me. She's a national. And she came by my house a few days ago. And I asked her the question. I asked her, what was the difference between Christmas this year and Christmas last year? And she really took a minute because that was the last thing she thought I was going to ask her. And she took a moment and had to think about it, and her eyes kind of clouded up. But I'm going to let her share with you what she shared with me. And I think these are the kind of things that you guys who are brand new, who are going through your own personal hell right now, she will be an inspiration because hell is temporary, as on earth and as it pertains to TLC. This hell you're going through is very temporary. If you really make a commitment to following the things we're going to lay out, next year will be heavenly for you. But you just have to go through what you're going through now. But I'd like to bring to the hangout my good friend and national director. I have a tremendous amount of respect for her. She's doing big things, and she's fighting. She's fought since the moment she joined, and now her life is different. So I bring Andrea Blackley to the hangout. Andrea, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I hear you. I see you loud and clear. I'd like you to do one thing for me. Please kind of share what Christmas last year looked like.
There was no Christmas last year. First of all, before I start, I definitely have to say thank you so much for believing in me enough, rendering to render this platform and allow me to share and just for everything that you do outside of TLC, in TLC, and everything. Obviously, Mr. Jack Fallon. Man, you are my everything. Just know that I'm so grateful. If I have another kid, I'm naming him or her Jack. But thank you so much. But last year, Mr. Floyd, I was in Tampa. I was living with a friend. I was living on the third floor of that condo, working at True it was, the holiday season. So, $9 an hour was what was coming in. Obviously, I was hoping for big sales and things like that because, we got a 2% commission. But I was worried, being a mother of a son who was in Houston and I was still in Tampa. He kept, it was weird last year because for whatever reason he kept begging me to come home. And Nicholas is not one of those like, mommy type little boys. He's really independent and consistently he was putting that in my ear. So that was always in the back of my head while I was at work. And I didn't have anything to give. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it to Houston. I mean, I was real honest and transparent with him, and I just said, we'll see what happens. I didn't have the spirit or the energy to be like, let's just see what Santa Claus brings, because at that point, there was no Santa Claus. And I had a 70% discount at True Religion. So there were like 4 items that I put on hold for like 3 weeks, 3 T-shirts and a pair of jeans that I was, obviously depending on my paycheck to purchase. And so when the time came, I was blessed with a plane ticket by a friend who paid for me to get back to Houston. So I was able to buy that for Nicholas and be able to take it to him. But it was interesting because I was like, even though it was True Religion, I'm like, I'm only able to get him 3 T-shirts and a pair of jeans, and that completely took my entire paycheck. Okay. So I get to Houston, didn't have any gifts for anybody else. Obviously, I was sewing and doing things like that. So for my mom, I made her an outfit because I couldn't buy her anything. And I got to Houston, and, my mom had a Christmas tree and all these big gifts and stuff for Nicholas, and nobody really knew what was going on. But on the inside, I was dead. I just was in disbelief. And what's ironic about it is right before that, Mr. Erwin Portis had called me, and he told me about TLC. He was like, you really need to check out TLC. And so I was like, okay, whatever, really trying to brush him off. I'm not trying to hear it. But at the same time, I knew I needed something. So anyway, I get to Houston, and, Christmas comes, and I really didn't want to get up because I was embarrassed. And, it was a couple of harsh, words that were said, like, why didn't I come to Houston with gifts? But that's just how I kept my life a secret from everybody else. Nobody knew what was going on. But Nicholas was excited. He was happy about the T-shirts. He was happy about the jeans, but the jeans didn't fit. And so I'm sitting there as a 38-year-old woman who'd been in the industry for years, a multiple 6-figure earner, a degree from Xavier University in New Orleans, and I didn't have $100, to do something for my son. So I was really upset. I was, depressed and whatever, but it was cool. So anyway, the next day after Christmas, I ended up going to the Portis' house. Now, this is how ironic all of this stuff is as I think about it, because my year anniversary is 7 days from now. And so the day after Christmas, Mr. Portis had called me, and I was out, and then I ended up going to their home and speaking to Twyla and Erwin, and, I cried, and I did that whole deal, and, I finally just listened, and my biggest fear, Mr. Lord, was going back to Tampa and not having a plan, because I knew that I could not, go back to True Religion. It was just, okay. I could not go to that job. And so I went ahead, I put my pride to the side and, shared everything with the Portises. And I was like, let's do it. What else do I have to lose? I really don't want to do it. I don't know what people think about me. I'm broke. I've been through all this devastation. Who am I going to call? How am I going to launch? How am I going to do all of this stuff? And then let alone I'm not doing it here in Houston. I'm going back to Tampa. So I get back to Tampa and, I just started. I remember I was talking to you on a regular basis. I was obviously talking to Twyla on a regular basis. And, you gave me some words of advice and encouragement. And so did the Portises. Obviously, I was talking to Twyla every day, all day. And we just went to work. I went to work. I became numb. I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I wasn't sure about everything. I mean, my head was down. I felt like I wasn't breathing. But when I looked up, when I finally looked up, actually, I was back in Houston because I worked my business for like 45 days in Tampa, no tea parties or anything because I didn't know how to do them. And then I came back to Houston for a week to get some training. And I ended up staying in Houston for 5 months. I did not go back to Tampa for 5 months because Mrs. Porter said, okay, it's time for you to start some tea parties. And I said, okay, you just tell me something one time. And it started with one tea party with Angela Cooper and Kathy Chapman. And from that one tea party, we continued to build tea party after tea party. And the organization was obviously growing. And people were like, Andrea, can you do a tea party here? Yep, because every day, every night, I was staying at my mom's house. That was already an issue. When I had come back to Houston that time, that was January 22nd, I came to your home and, had the ability to speak with you and get that connection, but I was working. And so when I looked at it, before you knew it, I'm in Houston for 5 months. I'm sorry, not for 5 months. Well, for 5 months, I didn't go back to Tampa. But in 3 months, Mr. Lloyd, 90 days, I was forced to move into a brand new house. The income was coming in. My car was still in Tampa, couldn't pay the car note, at that previous time. But now the money was increasing to where I had to get my car shipped with clothes in it because I still had that one suitcase. So 90 days in, I'm moving into a brand new house, right? And it's just been incredible since then. So it's so much, and I don't want to talk too long, but yesterday, I went Christmas shopping. Mr. Lord, I went Christmas shopping for real. And my story has been it's been 2 years or it's been 5 years. In my 39 years of living, I have never had the opportunity to go and literally pick and choose what I want to get and who I want to give it to. And, if I can't give a gift of substance or that comes from the heart or something that's fly, I'm not going to give nothing. And I'm not going to give an explanation for it. But I was at the mall Saturday with Shauna Davison and Shannon Adams. And so we were just playing around and doing some stuff, looking at great things. And she tried, I can tell her now because she's already posted it, but she tried on some Tory Burch sunglasses, right? And so I was buying some stuff for myself. We're at Neiman's. And I said, throw it in the bag. I got you. Merry Christmas, right? And so we're high-fiving like, we have rich friends. Yesterday, I can't tell you how many stores I went to. I'm still a smart shopper. Now, I get that from Shantae Lloyd, so I was at TJ Maxx, but we bought TJ Maxx yesterday, and it was for Nicholas. I wish I can show you some of that stuff that's sitting on my couch, right there, but that's clothes. And I was like, no, give me the hangers. I want everything, and so it's amazing because Nicholas is not here, but I'm going to be excited because I've never had the opportunity in his 10 years of living for him to have the type of Christmas. And it's not just about the gifts, but it is about the joy that he's going to feel because he's such a good kid and he deserves it because he's dealing with a mom like me, but having the opportunity to buy for him and for my family. And, I have a Christmas tree. Mr. Lloyd was talking about my tree, but my tree is gangster, okay? I don't know how many other people have a white Christmas tree over there, right? My leg is shaking right now, but it's a beautiful tree and everything. It's just amazing, and it's surreal, but it's real, as you see, because just a year ago, and I kept saying, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, for every time I swiped the card and it went through. Thank you, God. And it wasn't cheap purchases, but I'm so grateful and I'm happy. I'm committed. Obviously, I feel indebted, to this company and to the leaders of this company and the developing leaders. But even more than that, duplicating this type of story is what's phenomenal. And I just want to see so many other people just really enjoy peace, as you said, because this Christmas right here, this is a peaceful Christmas. So.
Thank you, man. I'm happy for you. It's amazing because it seems like you've been around for longer than a year, but it's only been a year. So thank you for that story because I know that had to touch somebody. So thank you, Andrea. The next person I want to come up is a person that, again, I've traveled with and happens to be a global in the company. And we're talking about in 12 months. And what she's done has been amazing. But I think the biggest thing to me that she's accomplished is that she's become a part of the spirit of TLC as she's traveled the country and even the world and just shared her beautiful spirit. But she and I have had conversations about what has transpired in her life in a year. So I'd like to bring up Global Director Nina Moore. Nina, you there?
I am, Kenny. Can you hear me?
I would. Nina, do me a favor and just share. And you guys, there's a purpose for this. So just bear with us. Because we know that there are people out there who are struggling this Christmas, okay? And Christmas is but a season. And there's always a season for different things. This may be your season for struggle, but it will be short-lived, all right? So, Nina, just share what Christmas last year was like, and what is the difference between Christmas last year and this year?
Well, first I want to say thank you now that I can actually talk to Jack. I got to say thank you, Jack, for starting in your basement, for believing and your vision and for continuing to live out your dream. I say thank you. I say thank you to your wife for allowing us to borrow you as often as we have to. And she's got to be a strong woman because she's holding it down, at home. And to your children who lend you to the world, we thank you. Kenny, you and Shantae, you guys know how I feel. I was texting back and forth with Shantae today. And then to Andrea Blackley, I'll send her my address so that she could send my gift too. Last year, I remember Paul working 90 hours a week or more. Last year, I remember my family has a ritual. They go to breakfast every year, the day after Christmas. And Kenny, I remember us dreading having to go to breakfast because there just wasn't enough. I remember telling my daughter, she loves to go to the ice capades. She's 16 now, and she still loves to go to the ice capades. And I remember telling her, you're going to go with your grandfather because we really didn't have the money to go. And so we let him take her. I remember, it's like the little things that I don't think people understand, that we take things for granted. I remember not wanting to go very many places because we didn't want to have to spend too much on gas. I remember being cautious as to not go to my parents' house too much because you had to pay to go over the bridge. I remember scraping up to get gift cards from my family just because you wanted to be able to give them something. I remember. And to know that this year, I called you after going to the bank because I just wanted to lift my hands and tell the Lord thank you today after going to deposit that check, because it comes every week. And today, I came out to shop for my family, just the feeling of not having to go to a clearance rack, because that's how we used to have to shop. You go to the back of the store, straight to the clearance rack, because if you could just get something, if you could just find something to give them off the clearance rack, then maybe you wouldn't feel ashamed or embarrassed. And not that, we live by, what we can do for each other, but when you're accustomed to being a giver, you just want to be able to do something for somebody. And so to have the pleasure of waiting to the last minute, and still being able to go out and find things to be able to be a blessing to the people that you care so much for, and to know that, we sacrifice so much of our time right now to build this legacy, because that's what we're doing. We're building generational wealth for our children's children's children. And I think about the fact that I want now my expectations show up in my behaviors. And so now, we work as hard as we do because now I want Paige to understand that Paige is never going to understand struggle, the way that all of us have. And so we're setting the precedence now for the things to come. It's not just about, today, but if I can make sure that my team and the people that are attached to me understand that, we put forth this effort, and we're going to continue to share with the world, and in every living room, in every from living room to living room to living room to dens to living rooms everywhere, that we are going to plant the seeds now to take TLC to be $1 billion company, to be $1 billion company. You know what? We're not selling our products because the products work. Here I am now down 90 plus pounds. You know, I went this weekend, Kenny, and bought a size 2 jeans. And, you know, to know that last year I was in a 16, 18, you know, pushing that, you know, I was probably a 22, but I was, you know, squeezing in the 16 and 18. But to know that my life is forever changed. I'm never going back. I'm never, ever going back to that place again. I'm never going to be broke another day in my life. You know, and it is all because of this opportunity called Total Life Changes. And, you know, I say to people, how in the world can we say that we're Total Life Changes and not want a total life change? You know, that with the efficacy of our products, the amazing leadership that we have the CEO and founder that has a heart of gold, you know, that loves the people and puts the people first. So last year, all I could say is that we were broke and broken. Last year, we were living that fake, tabulous life. But this year and the years to come, because it's not just about right now, it's about what's coming. It's about the different people's lives that we're going to touch, you know, going into 2016. So it's not about us. We just want our stories to give you a glimmer, a glimpse of hope. If you could just believe that you too could be in this place, I promise you that if you put forth the effort, if you put forth the work, that next year, this time, you'll be crying, but it won't be crying the blues. It'll be nothing but tears of joy. So thank you, Jack Fallon. Thank you, Bolo. Thank you, you know, Armand. Thank you, Kenny, for all of you that have you know, planted the seeds so that we could come behind you now and pick up the reins. And you kind of pass the baton to us. We just want to thank you from the Moorer family, from the Coleman family. We just thank you, and we want to wish you all a Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. I could go on for days, and you know I can, Kenny, so don't you say nothing smart. But I just want to turn it back over to you. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Hey, Nina, look, like I said, I mean, your spirit is everything, man. And, you know, I think these stories are touching, you know, to hear what Christmas, you know, how your life has changed, Christmas last year versus this year. But Andrea, how this year she can go, and she told me she just spent $1,500 just in Christmas gifts and couldn't do it last year. Why? Because she made a decision to bring change to her life, to make a total life change, and she's doing it through TLC. So I thank you both. Look, you've heard Jack, and I really wanted you all just to hear those stories, but tonight I really, my part of this is that I really want to share our vision for 2016. You know, 2014, 2015, I believe that those 2 years we spent clearing the land, because I believe that before you lay a foundation, you have to clear the land. You have to get all the rocks out and, you know, get all the bugs out, and just make sure you have a clean slate across so you can pour the foundation. And I believe that those first 2 years, that's what we've done. And we created a team of people across the country that are believers, and not believers in Kenny Lloyd or Jack Fallon or Nina Moore or Twyla Portis or Greg O'Neill Scott or Irvin Portis. They're believers in the products. And it's about the products. The products have taken us to where we are. And I think that sometimes you have to go back to what launched you. So 2016 is what I call, we're now prepared to pour the foundation for longevity. And what do I mean? I'm talking about for being around, not one of those companies that's a flash in the pan. See, what sets us apart from a lot of other companies, and I don't believe in spilling negativity about other companies, but this is just the truth, is that we have essential products, and we have several products that are immediate gratification products that really work for people, that benefit people, that really bless people, that bless their children, that bless them, you know, and I mean, they're working. So our products are phenomenal. So when I talk about longevity, I'm talking about the kind of longevity that Mary Kay has. You know, Mary Kay been around forever, or Avon or Herbalife. But you got to ask yourself, why have those companies had the longevity that they have? And the answer is simple. Because of a simplistic retail to recruit model. You know, I mean, you couldn't even tell me who one of the top leaders is in Mary Kay. I bet you don't know. Why? Because they're not on flyers all across the country traveling, going here, doing meetings. They stay grounded, and they understand that the power in what they do is in people's homes, doing home parties, not necessarily doing big meetings. Is there a place for big meetings? Absolutely. But I think that when you look at these companies and you look at their models, they have models where they're placing emphasis on home parties and showing people how to retail, because everybody's not a great recruiter. You know, one of the things, if you look at your attrition and you look at people coming and going, you see that the people that leave are the people who focus on recruiting. Nobody's left who's focused on retailing. Our retailers are still here and ever present. So I think that we also, if you look at those companies that, like your Mary Kay, like your Avon, like your Herbalife, you couldn't tell me who's a big Avon, exec, because you got to know there are people over there that are earning the kind of money that we're earning. But their model is different. It's not about fame. It's about fortune, and it's about generational fortune, and that's what they believe in. Herbalife, you couldn't even say. But the thing they do is that they also have a singular message that their leaders subscribe to. They don't have people, because when you have people who seek fame, you have people that go in different directions, and they really have singular messages. So this year is the year we lay that foundation, but that foundation is based on, again, in doing things the right way and getting back to the basics. If you really look at when we had our biggest surge, when I think about when we had our big surge, it was a surge because we had people talking about their weight loss. We had people posting, not posters up about I'm traveling here, I'm going to Africa, it was because we had people that were using the products that were having phenomenal successes. And those successes created the kind of curiosity that had people online, that had your friends and everybody saying, hey, let me try the products. And so this is what created that surge. And I think that now is this is the year that we go back to the basics. How are we going to assure ourselves? When we start talking about this singular message, because the home parties are easy, but this is what Jack and I discussed. We talked about, okay, how are we going to assure that, that you leaders are sharing the message correctly? Because, we have to assume some blame for the different messages out here, because I think from a corporate standpoint, from Jack's chair, from my chair, we have to make sure that we get the message out, that we create a platform to where the correct message can be delivered. Because you're always going to have people that want to do their own thing, but for the most part, I take the blame because we have not created a platform to deliver the message. So what Jack and I talked about is going into 2016, that we were going to create a platform to make sure that starting from the top, that our trainers were trained on the message to deliver. We have an initiative called the Train the Trainer certification class, okay? Now, one thing we know in network marketing, you always have imposters. You have people that say, hey, I see Nina Moore traveling across the country. I'm going to travel and do meetings too. And they're doing meetings and they're not having success. Well, what we're going to do now is that we're going to start importing people to the corporate office, and we're going to, on a monthly basis, every month, every other month, we're going to do a train the trainer, where we bring a group of people in and you leave with a handbook, and we're going to train you on our initiative. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about home parties. Our thing is one team, one dream, 100,000 families. 100,000 families what? Earning $1,000. Well, guess what? One of the things that we're going to alter this year is that we're going to make our message a lot more simpler. We're not going to talk about $1,000 a month. We're going to talk about how to show people how to earn $250 a week by simply doing a home party. $250 a week. So what will we teach? How is somebody going to do home parties and earn $250 a week? That's what we're training. We're training them on what products to push at a home party, okay? We're training them on the psychology behind, because a lot of people do home parties and don't even understand why you're doing them. You're doing them because somebody told you to, but you don't understand that there's a philosophy, and you have to understand the psychology of how to reach people, because what is your goal at a home party? A lot of people couldn't even tell me. Your goal at a home party is, number one, is to retail products. Because you have to know that in your organization, if you get enough of your people earning $250 a week, your organization will grow beyond your imagination. You are lifting people up. You are teaching people how to survive and go from survive. Because Once they master making 250 a week, 1,000, now they'll move to 1,000 a week, to 500 a week. So we're going to master teaching people how to go back to the basics of home parties, okay? Because again, understand, psychologically, if I tell somebody I'm going to show you how to make $1,000 a month, they're mind freaking. They may not believe they can even do that, but if you share with them how they can make $250 a week, they're going to go for that. They can believe, that's believable. Anybody can do it. So we're going to do a train-the-trainer, okay, where we bring people in and train them on how to deliver the message. We're going to start that after the first year, okay? And our message is going to be, seriously, going back to the basics, getting out of the Hollywood life, and going back to the home parties. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to see your incomes and you're going to see your organizations grow. That is the foundation portion of what we do. And this will give us the longevity that we seek. If we get thousands of people earning an extra $250 a week, I'm telling you again, I'll say it one more time, your business will grow beyond your wildest imagination. Now that's our domestic initiative. And it's very simple. I mean, our plan is just a very simple plan. We've already been talking about it, but now we're going to implement the nuts and bolts of it. Let's talk about our international initiative. You know, the one thing that one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of companies make is that they have distributors that just say, I want to do business in Bangladesh, and they'll fly to Bangladesh. They may be in Bangladesh, Jack, and they made me go there and meet some people and end up having 100 people. Well, for the first 30 days, when you have 100 people, you can build up some steam and, start making a little money. But I'm telling you, when you start going into that 60th day, and now 100 goes to 1,000, and now you're doing flyers, now guess what happens? You start running into the problems of your stuff being held up in customs, and you start running into problems, and you go in there, and what you do is equivalent to really just pillaging a country. Well, check it out. So what we want to do is that we want to be more structured about our international initiative. Internationally, I've asked Jack and John McCarry to provide a list where it's coming. It's just coming very shortly. We're going to have a list of the countries that we're actually sanctioned that we're doing business in. Then we're going to have another list of countries that we're working on becoming registered in. And what we're going to do amongst the leadership, we will look at those countries and we will devise a collective strategy to launch a country versus individuals, one or two people, because Nina Moore might go into a country, go to Bangladesh, and start building a team. And when Nina starts bragging about how successful she is, Andrea Blackley might go. And then when she brags about it, Kenny Lloyd might go. And then when Kenny Lloyd comes, Nina Moore is going to tell her people, guess what? I want you to just listen to my message. What we're doing. I don't want anybody to get confused listening to Andrea Blackley. And Kenny Lloyd is going to say, I don't want you going to Andrea Blackley or Nina Moore. And hence, we created division in a country automatically. If we strategically select the countries, let corporate give us a list of the countries that we're actively trying to go into and legitimately do business, and we come up with a strategic plan to go in there collectively, and instead of launching individual teams, now we're launching a country. So therefore, we have a plan to go in and start doing meetings and exposing people to the products, which we'll be revealing that too, which we'll be, introducing the people in these countries to the product. We'll allow these people to make some money from their customer number. And then once we get close to certification or being registered, now we start building teams. Now we identify the leaders and start building teams. And I'm telling you, if we go in there and do this like this and do it right, when we do things right, it gives us longevity. Yeah, it's a little more, you have to be patient when you do things right. But longevity doesn't mean I have a 6-month plan. I'm giving TLC 6 months. It doesn't mean I'm giving TLC a year. It means I'm in it for the long haul. And if I'm in it for the long haul, I want it there to be a long haul. We're already 15 years young. Guess what? There's no reason why 15 years from now, somebody much younger than me should be on here doing this while I'm on my yacht, drinking margaritas, okay? And I'm very serious about it. I'm not laughing, because if you look at the income that has been earned by a lot of our top leaders in a year, if you look at the evolution of their change, you have to know that if we just consciously make a decision that we're going to go back to the basics, we will show the world that we are a company that resembles the type of companies that have longevity in this industry. And that's all you want to do, because there's a new wave, another wave of people that are looking at us right now. This is the time of the year where people start making decisions about where they're going, if they're going to ship. And people have watched us for 2 years, and the people that are going to come and take us to the next level are waiting. They're making decisions now because they've run out of excuses on why not to join TLC, because everything they said we weren't, we are. Everything they said we are, that we weren't. So they've run out of excuses. So they know that where they are, they've been in 2 or 3 companies, it's time to come to where a company is solid. And that is what we're giving off. We're going to show people that we are a solid company, that our initiative is doing things the right way. Okay? So it's very simple. One of the things that we're going to be doing is that, you know, when you start looking at your personnel, we are looking really for people who are going in the same direction as we're going. You know, going into the beginning of the year, a lot of the leaders are going to be talking about the direction that we're going into. I have toilet porters at my house right now, and we're planning talking about the direction that we're going in, because we need to, as leaders, make sure that we're on the same sheet of paper. And on going into the first of the year, have James Dentley flying in, and so it's not difficult to recognize the people that are very serious about this. So we are providing the kind of platform for the type of company that is going to be around for you guys. All you new distributors that are coming in, I'm telling you, you couldn't have come in at a better time. Why? Because we're much prettier today than we were 2 years ago. Okay, we passed all the tests. I don't think the jury's come back in and said I give this company a stamp of approval, because if you look at what Jack Fallon said, we're teaming up with Success Partners. They're doing major things. We're cleaning ourselves up. We have a new kit, an introductory kit that when you sign up that you will get when you'll get a kit. We have the party kit. We have every tool that you need to win. There's no reason that you can't win over here. However, all you have to do is come in and subscribe to the singular message. And I want everybody to know that we want everybody to complete this journey with us, but we also want you to know that either you help us on the way or you're in the way. And if I were you, I would not want to be in the way. 2016 is going to be a year of miracles for those who want to participate in this growth, but it's also going to be a bad year for those who are participating in nonsense. You know, in idle gossip and this and that. There's no room for that. We are on a positive roll here. We've had 2 tremendous years. I am expecting that 2016 will be the year. I'm telling you, and I'll say it again, that miracles will take place in many people's lives. Okay? It's what has happened in my life, in Shantae's life, in my children's life. My daughter's 27 years old. She will be getting a $250,000 ring in New Orleans. That's a miracle in her life, and it's certainly a miracle in my life because she's no longer in my pocket. Okay, so it's such a beautiful thing to see your children, because that's all we talk about with this business. We talk about providing a business that we can leave to our children. Well, now my daughter is moving ahead. She's moving forward. My son is getting engaged in it because he sees it. And then the money that we're earning is allowing us to fund our children's dreams. So we're so excited about the future. Guys, if you do not have your tickets for New Orleans, and I want you all to know now, there's some things we've been holding back on, but we're starting to promote starting today. We have a director's recognition night. That's what I said. I said a director's that means you. A director's recognition night, where we're going to be recognizing directors, executive directors, regional directors. This is your night. This is not about globals. It's not about nationals. It's about you all. You all will be walking across the stage, receiving your pin. And if you haven't seen the new lapel pins, which if you have, we got a leak at the home office because they are beautiful. If you've seen the new lapel pins, they're absolutely beautiful. You'll be getting checks, and we have some other awards that we're going to be giving. Listen, we're shooting video. You all will be in the video that we'll be promoting the upcoming events. You want to be there, but here's what I need you to know, okay? That those of you all who are anticipating receiving a check for the event, the cutoff date for you to call to let us know that you're genuine and sincere, because it costs corporate a lot of money to produce those big fat checks, those giant checks that get people all kind of play in the airport. It costs a lot of money. So by January 10th, we need you to have purchased your tickets. If you're a director, executive director, regional, you need to have your ticket for the event. And we have a list of the people that will be receiving checks, and we're going to be looking to see if you have purchased, because in order to receive your check, in order to receive your pin at this time, you need to be at the event. So the cutoff date is January the 10th until further notice, all right, for you to have purchased your ticket if you want to be recognized. Okay, now you got to know that recognition will build your business. For your people to see you walking across the stage on a video, your people to see you holding a check, that's the kind of recognition that kills the naysayers. You know, your family members are saying you're not going to make any money. You're in one of those things. That thing ain't real. Ain't nothing like holding one of those fat checks to dispel all that BS, okay? So you want to make sure you get your tickets, because like Jack said, if you could have seen Jack's face when he was talking about the event, he was really red because he's spending a whole lot of money, okay? Okay, he's spending a whole lot of money on this event, more money than they've ever spent before. But this is going to be something that you will never forget. I give you my word that you get there and you bring some of your people, they're going to leave out of there and they're going to be calling the fire department, because they're going to leave out of there on fire. Okay, January 29th and 30th, you want to get there. That Friday night is Directors Recognition Night. It is your night. No nationals, no globals, nobody there stealing your play, stealing your light. It is about you all. The only people that will be doing things that night, I think Jack is going to be there. Listen, you got to be there. Okay, the event, the show, oh my God, the award show, man, Vivica Fox, Carl Payne, we got some surprises. We have some celebrity entertainers that are going to blow your mind, but I'm not going to tell you tonight. You got to be there to see, okay? So, look, we don't want to take up a lot of your time. We did want you all to know that we do have a domestic and we do have an international agenda, and all of it is about laying a foundation for longevity, and that's what we're doing, okay? So, listen, we love you guys, everything that you're doing. Man, all the hard work that you all did all this past year. And I got to leave you all with saying, those of you all that are in your season of struggle, know that struggle, as long as you're moving forward, your struggle this season, it won't be long. You listen to Nina Moore, you see her tears. They're not tears of pain anymore. They're tears of joy, because she's no longer in that struggle. If you listen to Andrea Blackley, you know, she's not, you don't hear pain in her voice anymore. When she first started a year ago, we put her on stage, she started having success relatively quickly. And man, she was in such pain. Even in her growth, she was still in such pain, but that pain is absent now. Okay? And so it doesn't have to last. All you need to do is make a decision to get in, dig in, and get busy. Okay? Hey, TLC, baby. I want to say again, thank you to Nina. Thank you to Andrea. Thank you to Jack Fallon and Rock and Michelle. Look, man, we got big things going. And listen, let me say it one more time. If you have people in Houston, the Houston office, we have product there where people can get product at the office. If you have people that are signing up, why wait 3 to 5 days when they can come and pick it up immediately? Okay, that's my plug for the Houston office. Hey, everybody, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. You all go out there and just enjoy yourself, and understand that how Merry Christmas is not determined by how many gifts under the tree. It's by the spirit of the people who are sitting at the table, okay? God bless. Good night.